Welcome to the Lost in Phoenix podcast. We are Lost in Phoenix. We're going to be talking about a bunch of different shit today. Current events. We don't really have a topic to be talking about.
Just random stuff.
Yeah. My name is Seamus. I'm joined today by Josh. How you doing, bud?
Doing excellent.
Awesome. All right. So just like we said, we're going to be talking about a bunch of different stuff because we just don't have a topic at the
Hopefully
moment.
we can retain your attention.
Yeah.
With our nonsense.
Hopefully. And give us your thoughts down in the comments.
Yeah.
If you I don't know, if you're listening
Give
to
us
this.
a commento.
Yeah.
It's not a memento, it's a commento.
And subscribe
Yeah.
because I don't know,
We need some more subscribers.
numbers.
Just a few would be cool. It'd be
We're
cool
doing
to
pretty
know.
You're doing pretty good for,
Yeah,
bro,
bro.
not really marketing at
Yeah.
all. So
Yeah, it's just more of a fun thing to do. You know?
yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So I got a quick topic that I
Yeah.
read something about earlier.
Hit me.
So I guess the CEO for Disney is stepping down.
Yes. Yeah.
You hear
Effective
about-
immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bob Iger. Get the fuck out of there.
Dude, he's like, he
please.
finally is just sitting there in that big old office, and he's like, dude, I've got the money. What the fuck am I still doing? Let me just take a job that's less stressful. I'm a firm believer that nobody really wants that kind of stress once they're rich.
Yeah.
I feel like once you have enough money, like, to do what you really want, like you have like a Joe Rogan money, you got like 40 million or something,
Right.
or, you know, just other... That's probably the best example. Like, I was just watching a podcast that he did last night where he was talking about all the TV offers he still gets and how uninterested he is. He's like, I just say no all the time, but I'm like, that's just such a good place to be in. And it probably makes sense why this guy would, like, you know, when you're the CEO, you take all the heat.
Yeah.
I mean, Disney's a huge company. They're swallowing up companies left and right. They're a huge conglomerate. I mean, there's so much
It's huge.
that falls on you. You're the front man. You're the fucking CEO. He's just like, effective immediately. I've got enough money.
Well,
I've done it.
I don't even think it's that. He could have. Disney's such a big company and has been such a big company for so long.
Yes.
And he's been CEO for 20, 30 years, like since I've been alive.
Has he really been for that long?
Yeah.
Damn.
I think the last dude, he was the brother of an actor who died recently.
Okay.
But he like took over and then let go for a little while and then was like, nah, this dude's not doing good, and came back.
God, what a stressful position to be in.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about, and if shit starts going wrong, guess who gets blamed first?
Yeah. The CEO immediately.
It's almost in the way, it's like the job that's closest to like what it would feel like to be a leader of a country.
Right.
Or a president. Even if something that you know that's way below you, that's way beneath, you know, the decisions you're making goes wrong, you're still held responsible for it by the public and your shareholders.
Yeah.
So it's like, why would you even want that? So it's good. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him.
I'm not. He's
Good for him.
I've heard so many stories of him
Yeah.
just being an asshole.
I used to know this girl who she got paid. I can't remember if it was $12 or $15 an hour, but her job was she worked for Disney and she would go online just to see if there was anything negative written about Disney's upper brass.
Really?
And that was her job. She worked in an office where that was like their job, just to go online and see if there was echoes of dissent
That's
among
crazy.
the human internet world. And she just had to just report it, you know? But
That sounds
makes
like an
sense,
interesting
you know,
job.
You know, it would make sense that that's something that a big corporation would do. You know, they're trying to really silence any sort of dissent or like see if they can make it better or make it go away. They've got huge budgets for shit like that, probably.
Probably. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure it was more like, how can we flip this to be something good? You know?
Yeah, it's almost in the same way like a small. You know, have you ever gone on Google and you see a business that has mostly good reviews, but then you see, like, if you go and read the negative reviews, like a good example of that would be the movie theater here in town.
Right.
The negative reviews, I've spent time on this, gone through and read the owner response,
Right.
Or like, and you know, they'll respond in a very kind and courteous way to the people with negative reviews. You know, to try to, because their reviews are almost all great.
Right.
It's a great theater, except for the last time we were there and it smelled like piss. But
Right. Yeah, you know,
but for the most part,
sometimes the little kid pisses his pants.
yeah,
You
sometimes
can't-
the little kid pisses his pants. It's okay. It's a great theater. They don't
pretty
charge a lot to see movies, which is awesome.
Yeah,
it's nice to be able to go to the movies, especially where I'm from, where in California, that shit was like $11 to go to the theater.
Really? Is it not more? I've heard.
And it was even. I paid more.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I mean, it's nice to be able to just go there and it's like $8. That's fucking.
A matinee over here at the mall is like $4.
That's awesome.
It's insane.
That's awesome, bro.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's fucking crazy.
So yeah. So I guess in a way, what Disney is doing is kind of the same thing that guy, the owner was doing. You're trying to mitigate the negativity that's being perceived about your company from the general public.
There's like a term for it. I can't remember what it is. Like where you're trying to like fight the fire.
Fight fire with fire?
No, it's like mitigation of something. I can't remember. It's like a phrase. I can't remember what it is at the moment. Yeah. It's like trying to turn a bad situation into a good one almost. Yeah. So
it would make sense that I have heard that this guy is maybe not such a good guy.
Yeah.
But then, I hear that.
Even the guy before him wasn't good.
There's always two sides to a story. There's always room for nuance in anybody's situation. Like, imagine the amount of pressure this guy's under. There's so many different factors. Just imagine, like, being that powerful. You have to balance your family life and your work life. I mean, how could you be the CEO of a big company and not be working, like, 12, 15-hour days every day?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there's just so much to do, it seems. You got to make sure. I mean, I don't know if you've been to Walt Disney World.
I've been there a couple times.
But the place is fucking immaculate. It's like walking into a dream in a way.
Yeah.
It kind of is like that. I mean, it's just fucking so well thought out, so well constructed. It's like it's run like a machine with machine-like precision. It's always clean. It's always, not always clean, but I mean, that's,
Yeah, I made a weird face.
They constantly have people going around cleaning it up, but I mean, you're talking about a bunch of little kids throwing shit everywhere. So obviously you can't be on top of every fire at once to put it out, but it's really
it definitely is the best theme park around here. Because living in Florida, you've got Walt Disney World, or Disney World. You've got Busch Gardens over on the West Coast, and Universal, all kind of like competing in the same space. And I think there's a Six Flags. I don't think
Busch Gardens is even in the same fucking league as Universal Studios or Walt Disney World. They're
it's
good.
Still considered a theme park. So it
looks pretty dope. Have you been there?
I've been there once. It was really
good.
Cool.
It seems like they have more roller coasters, like more like kind of a Six Flags situation.
Yeah, that's definitely more of the whole thing because it's more based around nature. So they have a lot of animals.
Oh, that's
and
dope.
Like different exhibits you can go see. Yeah.
Do they have the animals on roller coasters though?
No.
Cool if you could.
I think there's
ride the zebra on the fucking loop-de-loop.
That'd be cool.
The zebra loop.
I think there's a roller coaster that goes over like the leopard exhibit or something like that.
I bet you the leopards love that shit.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Have some like, nice anxiety. Trying to go out there, try to get some sleep. They're like,
just
shut the fuck up.
Yeah. 12 people screaming over them.
Oh, I know all the time.
Like
little kids puking. Fucking gets on them. Poor guys.
Yeah. I don't know.
They're like, just give me 10 minutes out of this cage and see what I do to some of you little fat fucks.
Yeah. God, man.
Okay, so what part of the West Coast is Busch Gardens? Where is that located?
It's like just north of Tampa.
Tampon, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
One of my favorite comedians, Christina P, calls it that. So every time I hear somebody say Tampa, I feel the need to correct them.
Yeah, it's definitely not the best place in Florida.
Yeah, it's definitely considered like a real place to be involved in cocaine and natural ice and bad strip clubs.
Yeah, it's not the best place.
Yeah,
but Busch
Gardens is super dope.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
But it's not in the same league as Universal or Walt Disney World.
No, I would have to say that the way that they have themed everything and keep everything consistent at Disney World is so much better than Universal.
Yeah, and plus they have, the reason that they're in the league of their own is they have, they're utilizing all of this great content that's so entrenched in American culture, like all these great classic films. Universal too, they have all these great films that have, been so huge culturally here in the States, and all their rides and just the theme parks in general reflect that. So you already have such a huge built-in audience of people that love that kind of shit. So when they come out with, like the new Harry Potter exhibit or the new Star Wars, they have people come in just to check that out. And that's something that Busch Gardens doesn't have. It's just kind of like a nice place if you're on the West Coast of Florida. They don't have like that fucking, they're not like,
they don't have a core audience. They don't have something to go, hey, we got a new thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just culturally Universal and Disney are just really important, like with the entertainment that they put out since the 70s and 80s.
Even before that. I mean,
yeah, Disney's before that for sure.
Around since what, the 60s, I think, like Disney World. Or I always get it mixed up between which one was built first. It was either Land or World, because Land is in California.
I think it was Disneyland, actually.
Okay, yeah. I think that's what I've heard before. I always get it mixed up.
In Anaheim.
Yeah. Never been there. Never been to California.
Oh, man.
Only heard stories.
You know what they call it? Anacrime?
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
God.
You know, I had one thing I have to say about Anaheim is I used to work there, and I had friends that lived there that I would go and play music with, like people I was in bands with.
Right.
And it was always such a bitch to park there.
Oh, really?
It was always, there was like, it wasn't well, like the way the city was planned, like the way the neighborhoods were, it just gave no thought to like how many people needed to park their cars. So it was always a struggle. I mean, I'm talking about like circling, you know, and having to like make sketchy parallel parking in neighborhoods where you fucking could easily get your car robbed. It's that. So for the most part, like Anaheim is those kind of places, like places that aren't or Disneyland, and like the surrounding gentrified restaurant areas are all kind of like not so nice. Good. There's parts of Anaheim that are nice, like Anaheim Hills, but for the most part, it's just kind of like it's not like a great.
Not a great place.
Yeah. Especially in South Orange County where it's at, where in some of the surrounding communities they're actually really nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But anyway, Walt Disney World, in my opinion, shits all over Disneyland. It's it's like in a league of its own. Yeah. It's just so vast and expansive. It's insane. Just even driving to the parking lot where you get on the tram.
Yeah.
It's insane how long it takes. Like I remember when I went with Emma last time, she was not last time, the time before when she was here. It was like I felt like I was lost. I'm like, are we on some other weird random toll road freeway here in Orlando?
Right. Yeah. And then you pass under the sign. You're like, oh no, we're in the right spot.
Orlando's a fucking nightmare to drive in. They're constantly doing construction. It's
yeah. There's no reason for a lot of the construction that they do too. It's like, oh, we're gonna improve on this patch of the highway. Yeah. Just this patch though.
I think Walt Disney World and Universal are definitely like responsible for a lot of like that Orlando's prosperous, what seems to be a prosperous economy. You know?
It's not prosperous.
It's not prosperous? Why is it really corrupt? What's the deal?
It's just not good. I mean,
what do you mean?
I'm sure that the city makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
But like
probably cleaning house with those fucking tolls.
Yeah. Jesus. Every single highway that goes through there is a toll road. It's ridiculous. But like there's a homeless problem in downtown.
Oh, is there?
Yeah. Shit. It's not as bad as like New York or LA is, but there's a homeless problem. Yeah. And they're not really doing anything to help them. Yeah. And then like the surrounding areas are they're very low income.
I mean, the question is, what's the solution to that?
I don't know.
I don't have one.
Yeah. There really isn't, because the population there is not very nice.
The problem is it becomes, if you do something about it, if you allocate funds to like, let's say make these people permanent housing. Right. Then what you're doing is you're just kind of creating these new ghettos in a way.
Yeah.
Because people that are usually on the streets, they usually have mental illness that's undiagnosed. Yeah. They usually have diseases. They usually almost always have drug problems that are bad, with like heroin or coke or meth or something fucked up has happened to them that made them go there. Right. So it's like if you start building communities for these people nearby, how long until that just turns into a bad thing? And then once everybody else hears word that your city is doing that, right, then everybody else starts flocking to it, and then the problem compounds itself. So really it's such a difficult, like when people talk about the homeless problem, I do kind of have sympathy for the cities in a way. I mean, I have sympathy for the homeless people. I have sympathy for both sides, but it's like, I just wish that there was some sort of really brilliant, conclusive way that you could solve it. Right. I don't know, man. I think.
Yeah, it's definitely a very tough issue.
Yeah, it's sad, dude, to have to live on the street, especially like being on drugs and stuff. That's fucking awful.
Yeah. It's just awful. I don't know. It's a part of.
Yeah, it is.
The economy? Question mark. I'm not entirely sure. What? The economy, kind of. Like I don't know. There's just always that like money side to it all. Like, building these places costs money. Where are they going to be?
Yeah.
And finding the land costs money and doing all this other stuff. It's like, well, these are human beings. They need, right? It's like a basic human need to have a structure, a home, or housing, I guess, to be safe,
Yeah, I think hopefully like technology will help maybe solve the problem a little bit. Like maybe once you can get like some cheap 3D printed like prefab homes that you can kind of just that are decent but don't cost a lot in materials. You can kind of just 3D print them. I think they already have this technology, but I don't know how cheap it is but
I don't know if you could do that with a 3D printer on that scale. I think
it would take a big scale, but there's prefab homes that I've been looking at online, and you can get like a pretty good one for like 25 or 50 grand. Some even cheaper. I mean, it's a prefab home, but if you buy some land and you put that on there and make it nice and maybe put some soundproofing in it, it's a nice house. Yeah. It's a nice little spot.
It's still the problem of paying for it.
Yeah, the problem with paying for it.
And for somebody that's living on the street, they don't have a job.
Yeah.
So they have no income. So how are they going to pay for it?
They need to eat, and they need to have drugs. And they need to.
They don't need to have drugs.
But in their mind, they need drugs.
Yeah.
That's why they're there.
Yeah. That's probably the one thing that I've noticed. Because in my mind, it seems to help when these homeless people have someone to talk to. So like church groups, they'll have like an AA meeting sort of thing.
Yes.
Where they'll have food and stuff like that, and then homeless people go in there, and just having that community sort of deal can
it's definitely a good thing.
That.
I think that is actually one kudos point that I can give to the church, whether it be Christian or I've seen it in both Christian and Catholic churches, is that they do offer that AA, and I have and NA,
right?
Narcotics Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous, and also I have heard over the years of like various churches helping the homeless or like shit. So I guess I gotta say that's one aspect of religion that is beneficial. That's like you said, it's kind of like a nice community they can go to if they. Yeah. If they want to start maybe getting sober, maybe meeting people.
Yeah. Having somebody to talk to seems to be super beneficial to people in that kind of situation. Just having like a hand to, not a hand out, but a hand to hold.
Yeah. Definitely.
Just somebody to be compassionate.
There's definitely different levels to it. There's definitely people that have fallen on hard times, and there's people that have like very bad undiagnosed mental illness.
Yeah.
And then that mental illness compounded by heavy drug use and a heavy drug tolerance can be dangerous for sure.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
So there's just the full spectrum. But back to the original point, Orlando is
it's a shitty place. Nobody should ever go there.
I wouldn't say that.
Orlando.
It's interesting.
Oh, I hate it.
I just went to the comedy club there the other night. It was a really fun experience. But that's like a gentrified fucking mall on Universal Drive. Universal Drive is pretty cool. There's some interesting things.
Oh yeah, the parts that Disney and Universal have put money into.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I went to that comedy. The comedy club was fucking immaculate, bro.
Yeah.
It was.
It's really
Orlando
Improv
cool. Was very nice.
Yeah,
it was a very enjoyable time.
It's also a college town, Orlando, because they've got UCF and there's a Polytechnic school there,
and they have Full Sail there too.
And Full Sail is there. That's all on the east side of town.
Yeah.
And it's shitty around the colleges. Like terrible. Like there's some nice parts.
Is it expensive to live there?
Oh, it's hella expensive.
Really?
It's not as expensive as around here, surprisingly.
Really?
Yeah. So I was paying almost $1,300 for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath apartment up in Orlando.
Wow.
Down the street from a college that I was going to. And like here in town, it's like $1,100 for a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, wait. So $1,300 for 3 bedrooms?
For 3 bedrooms.
2 baths?
2 baths.
That's a really good deal.
Yeah. It was really fucking
That's
good.
a really good deal.
Yeah.
By my standards, that's a really good deal. The California standards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not really a Californian anymore. I'm kind of a Floridian now.
Yeah.
But fuck, dude, that actually is really good.
Yeah. It was affordable for that area. Yeah. It was ridiculous.
Did you have roommates or you just fucking
2 roommates?
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's really manageable if you guys are. The 1,300 was there bills and utilities included?
Utilities was not included, so we ended up paying, I think, at the end of it all, it was almost no. How much was it?
What school?
It was about $1,500.
What school did you go to? You didn't go to UCF. You went to the Poly one, the technical.
I went to a college called Valencia.
Valencia.
Yeah, it's a community college up in Orlando.
Okay.
That
so there's multiple community colleges there too.
Yes, there's like 3 or 4 different.
So many goddamn colleges, man.
Yeah, and so Orlando's a college town, you know, and there's like one
it's so
part
spread
of Orlando.
Out.
Yeah,
That's the wild thing about Orlando, dude.
Yeah, like there's one part. It's called Winter Garden, or Winter Haven, Winter Garden.
Yeah,
that's like really nice.
Yeah, I was there last night. That's a really nice area.
Yeah,
that felt like I was in Santa Monica, California, dude. When I was there, it was really nice.
That place feels like a college town. Yeah, you know, it has that kind of like, this is where the young people kind of go to hang out a little bit.
Yeah, it was hip. Yeah, kind of a cool spot.
Everywhere else is not like that.
Yeah.
So it sucks. It sucks so much.
It's funny, like when you're in Orlando, you're driving there and everybody else, like 90% of the people you're sharing the road with are also staring down at their phone at Google Maps because they don't know what they're doing, where they're going.
It's like, do I get off at this exit or do I get off at that one? But this one like kind of like connects to the other one.
It's kind of chaotic to drive in Orlando during rush hour.
It's the worst.
More so on the streets, I think. Yeah. It's like particularly ruthless.
It is. It's
not even that ruthless in LA during rush hour.
Really?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
Well, it depends on what part of LA you're in. Maybe if you're like towards the airport, Santa Monica, or it's a little more cutthroat down there. Right. People are a little more asshole-ish, but if you're up in the valley, people are a little more cool.
Yeah. Something I always hear about LA is that it takes an hour, give or take, to get anywhere in the city. Right?
Yeah. Something it just depends on what time.
Yeah, that's Orlando.
Yeah.
Like all the time.
Yeah.
It can take, if you're going from like east side of where UCF is into downtown, it's going to take like 30, 45 minutes.
Dude. Yeah, definitely.
Even though it's like 10 miles. It's like, you have plans to meet downtown for dinner with somebody. You have to leave at like 7 to get there by 8.
This is what I truly despise about living in a big city. Like, I like living where we live.
Right.
For that reason, I fucking love just being able to go to the grocery store at 5 o'clock and know that I'm only going to face a couple minutes of traffic delays.
Yeah.
And like even just like taking trips to Orlando, like it kind of felt like the last time I went, it kind of felt like a chore to do all the driving. I'm like, fuck, dude. I'm like, it takes a half hour to get here and then another, fuck, dude.
Yeah, it's bad.
Fuck. But I mean, obviously it's, I don't have to do it all the time, so it wasn't that bad.
Right.
But I do remember having to do it all the time.
Right.
Fuck. Just a lot, you go crazy sitting there in traffic. It's not fun.
No, it's not.
In LA, dude, you're talking about like sitting in traffic for, like when I was in this band, the practice in Hollywood, I lived all the way down in South Orange County. Mm-hmm. And that was like literally the worst stretch of highway that you'd ever want to drive during rush hour. It's like notorious for being like some of the worst traffic of all time in this area every single day. Like you basically driving down from way down south through downtown LA and up into Hollywood. Just like from downtown LA to Hollywood sometimes took like 40 minutes.
No
When
way.
there's no traffic, it should take like 7 to 10 minutes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, it was pretty awful. And then you get to Hollywood, dude, and literally there's fucking parking just comes at a premium. I mean, every time we'd practice, I had to pay $10 to I got parking tickets before, terrible. And it's just really sketchy. I hated, parking my car and then taking all my gear out. There's homeless people everywhere. It was like right on Hollywood Boulevard was where our practice space was.
Oh.
And so like I had to it actually right across the street from the Church of Scientology.
No way.
Oh, it was creepy.
Really? The big blue building? Was it that one? Or there's another one?
It was a celebrity center or something.
Really? No way.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But yeah, we go and they'd take smoke breaks and we just stand outside in the front. Right. There it is.
Did you ever see any like celebrities walking out?
Oh no. Because we'd always do it at night, and that's the way that all the Scientology places that I've ever seen, at least like the one that I saw in Santa Barbara, they all just have like weird. You can't really see inside. You can't really go inside.
Right.
It's like they just have very deceptive literature.
Right.
Like saying like, are you happy? Are you satisfied? Like things that seem very rational and very like, oh man, this seems like it could really be a good thing for my life to get involved in this. What they're saying like seems to make sense because they're not telling you about any of the crazy shit at all.
Well, they don't tell you that until you're
exactly
higher level. You've spent like $10,000.
The fucked up thing is, I remember walking in Santa Barbara one morning, early in the morning, past their their Scientology. They had like a little office there. And I just remember reading what they had on the building. I was like, damn, dude, that's like everything that they said on that little piece of paper felt like it would be really good to have in my life.
Right.
It was very convincing.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say that I was thinking about it because obviously I never followed through with it. I knew that, even at a young age that it was fucking bullshit, but
right.
Yeah.
Well,
so they rope you in, dude. They just don't tell you everything right away. They don't tell you about the Xenu and the fucking.
Well, you don't even, as far as I know, you don't know about Xenu until like.
Yeah.
You're really deep in.
Yeah, you're really deep in. You paid fucking almost $1 million.
Yeah.
Leah Remini just rips it apart, dude. Just talks about how she she received the final secret.
Yeah, and was like, fuck that.
And was like, this is fucking bullshit. She was all pissed off. That's like the last lady you'd ever want to go against you, man. A lady like that, she's got all the money she's gonna ever need.
Yeah,
it's really like something so freeing probably about like having that much money from like a huge hit show or something, because she just doesn't care about impressing anybody. She just she just doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
she's like, fuck you, man. This is brutally honest. That's like the last person you want to go against you.
Yeah, it's Scientology's just the weirdest.
It's so dumb.
Yeah.
So fucking, that's what it is. It's just dumb, dude.
It is.
It really is.
It is. It came from a science fiction writer. So it's like, you're telling me you
don't
believe
see that's suspicious? You don't see that it's suspicious?
It's ridiculous. I don't know.
But maybe maybe they just play on people's need to like we were talking about earlier, have that community. Yeah. Maybe that's
all religion is.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a community.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that human beings, we naturally want to have some sort of community.
Right.
It feels good. Like, it feels good to come over here and do this podcast. You're my community. We have this little community that we've curated.
Right.
Where we do podcasts.
Yeah.
And when I don't do that, I feel like, kind of lost at certain times, you know? Or like, going out to play basketball. Like, I don't really talk to any of those people outside of the basketball court but when I go there, it feels like this strange unity,
right?
That like the community.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about it yesterday, that how weird it would be to go out there and have there be no basketball court, have it like there's no game, but it's just all of that group of people just standing there talking with each other. And then if I walked up, they would all look at me like, the fuck? But because we have basketball in common,
right?
It's almost like that is the religion, it's like people respect the game, and if you're out there, like you're expected to treat it with a high level of respect. So it's like there is that. It's almost is like religious in that way, because you're not like judging the people. You don't really see like the color of their skin or whatever. They're male, female. It's just kind of like out there to have this common experience. Get some good exercise playing this game that we love.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes really good sense.
Yeah, so it's like...
You need to watch the movie. It's on Netflix. It's called The Master.
The Master?
Yeah. It's Joaquin Phoenix and Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh, nice.
I think we were going to review it a long time ago, and I can't remember whether or not I told you to watch it.
Yeah, we should.
You need to watch it, though. It's really good.
Was it Philip Seymour Hoffman?
Yeah.
He's in that fucking movie that I just watched last night, Talented Mr. Ripley.
Oh, really?
And he's so goddamn good in it. When he came into the frame, I didn't realize he was in it. And I was like, oh, yes. Especially during that era. He was like not like a big fat guy yet.
Right.
So good. Such a good actor. So I'll definitely check that out. Those are heavy hitters. Joaquin Phoenix and Seymour Hoffman. That's fucking
good.
Great.
It's a Paul Thomas Anderson movie. He did There Will Be Blood. So it's long.
Okay.
It's 2.5 hours long.
The Master. And it's on Netflix?
Yes.
Beautiful.
I think it's still on Netflix.
I like it.
But it's fan-fucking-tastic. And it's about... it's a dramatized retelling of what's his name? The Scientology guy's life.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
L. Ron Hubbard?
That's it. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's like...
Does one of them play L. Ron Hubbard?
Philip Seymour Hoffman plays an L. Ron Hubbard esque character.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, where he's a sci-fi writer who has a book out that's like super religious. kind of like.
So it's not quite about Scientology, but they just kind of like, oh, that's interesting.
Like he's got a boat that he takes people out on and talks about this religion with.
That's so funny, which is like exactly what Scientology is. So they're obviously making it, it's inspired by Science. That's interesting. I got to check that out.
Yeah.
I feel like Philip Seymour Hoffman is the only person that would ever be qualified to play Ron Hubbard. Because he looks a lot like him.
Yeah.
With some makeup and prosthetics. I mean, you're talking about like a spitting image. If they were to, obviously he's not around anymore, but the master.
Both of them. Yeah.
Master.
Sadly, Philip Seymour Hoffman is dead, but
yeah. Did he die of a heroin overdose or suicide?
I believe it was heroin overdose.
Fucked.
Yeah. Which is very surprising. I did not realize when he died that I didn't think that he was a person that would ever do something like that, because he was a bigger guy. But I guess that, who was I just started getting into Sam Kinison's life.
Oh, I love Kinison. Isn't it fascinating?
It is. Like
he used to be a preacher.
Such a drug thing, like cocaine and heroin and all that, and then he got clean and died from a car crash.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
But definitely another guy that's like, I wouldn't expect him to be doing heroin. From what I know of heroin users, it's like just so far on the opposite end of the spectrum.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's definitely, it's one of those things where you never think that you're going to use a certain drug until the opportunity presents itself to you. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, like, you're in that place where you're receptive to it. You're like, maybe I should check that out.
Right.
What's the worst that could happen? Then you try and discover that you really liked it.
Not me. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, don't ever do it. Heroin, to me, like, there's just other ones that are more beneficial to try, like, ecstasy, even meth, as crazy as that sounds, cocaine, marijuana, mushrooms. Like, those are ones that you could all of those you could try one time and, like, just kind of move on from it and just kind of enjoy your night with it. See what it's like, see what it's all about. But to me, heroin is in a class entirely of its own, where it's like, the people I know that have really gotten into it, they knew from the first time they ever tried it that this was going to be an issue.
Oh.
And I think it's way harder to get off of heroin than any other drug. It really is. Maybe with the exception of alcohol, because I think alcohol and heroin are the only ones where you can die from the withdrawal.
Right. Yeah. I've heard that alcohol withdrawal is much worse.
Yeah, it's
like
really bad.
Really, really bad.
Yeah.
My dad went through it a little while for a very short amount of time.
The DTs. Yeah, there's definitely something you got to go to the hospital. They give you Ativan. Ativan helps.
He didn't do that. He had a surgery, and they were like, you can't drink on this medication. So for like 2 weeks, he was just not having fun.
It'll fuck you up, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, that's for real.
Yeah, it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've seen people withdraw from both, and I definitely think the alcohol was actually worse.
Yeah.
Crazy as that sounds.
Yeah, it does. It definitely sounds bad.
Yeah.
Because I think alcohol you can get, it's a little bit easier to get a hold of.
It's very easy to get a hold of. It's on every goddamn corner.
Yeah.
If you live in a city and you're a human being, you can get alcohol so easily.
Yeah, there's some places that, like dry counties, that you can't get like hard.
That's just
liquor.
Dumb.
Yeah.
It's dumb. Know. But yeah.
It is really fucking stupid.
Look, so we're talking about Philip Seymour Hoffman and his doing heroin. That's, I think, to me, when you're that great of a genius, I mean, sometimes when you're that good at what you do, sometimes there is a dark side.
Yeah.
Oftentimes great genius is accompanied by a dark side, and in that dark side sometimes can be a lust for vices of various sorts.
Yeah.
Heroin and other substances being some of them. So it's sad because he's just so great and you want to see him in more shit, but maybe it's just his time to go. I don't know.
It could have been. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was I watching?
Thankfully, he has a lot of great shit that we can, look back on his legacy.
Yeah.
He's a deep imprint on the movie world.
Oh, yeah. He was such a great actor.
Yeah, so good. In everything.
Yeah. What's the one he's really known for? He played he
was great in Big Lebowski.
Yeah, he was really good. That was like so one of his like first big roles back in the 90s. Yeah. That and like Twister.
Twister.
Yeah, remember that movie?
Yeah, bro.
That piece of garbage, but it's a fantastic movie.
I like Twister. I like it.
When he was playing that like hippie dude.
Yes, he was so good in that.
Yeah, he's so good in that
Twister
movie.
is such a good reflection of that era in cinema.
It really is.
It really is.
That. Oh, what's another one? Like Backdraft. That like natural disaster, but not on like super scale.
Yeah,
you know, because like in the 22 or early 2000s, kind of
it started getting like crazy, weird disasters that would never happen.
Yeah, like 2012.
Yeah,
and what's another one? The Day the Earth. No. Day After Tomorrow.
Yeah, they decided to make everything so outrageous.
Yeah.
But
what's
part of
Armageddon with Michael Bay, where they go onto the asteroid and blow it up.
I thought Armageddon was a good movie.
It is a good movie.
But it's I feel like that's almost premise. Those movies are better than the ones you mentioned before, like the 2012 and the Day After Tomorrow, I think it was.
Yeah.
I think that Twister and Armageddon and movies like that are inherently better because the real element to it, like it could just be a real disaster. It's more believable.
Yeah.
Whereas, your mind when you're watching the 2012, you just see the CGI and you're like, oh fuck, this is just like
this like crazy giant wave that could happen.
And I feel like those movies
are so out of proportion.
Yeah, true. But I feel like those movies are also, there's less emphasis on the characters.
Yes.
And I feel like in Twister and Armageddon did a really good job of character development, and that's why it says it's such a good movie.
Yeah. It's really good with the characters.
Yeah.
Because you have a team, and you introduce all the team, and you don't get what their character is immediately. You kind of, before they leave, you get that character development as to who they are and what their past was. Yeah. That's how you do characters.
That's what's missing from a lot of movies that are coming out.
Yeah.
Like newer Hollywood cinema.
Yeah. There's not a lot of good writers out there.
I mean, maybe there are. Maybe they're just doing different shit. Maybe they're in television. Maybe they made so much money they don't want to do it. Maybe they're dying of heroin overdoses secretly, and nobody knows who the fuck they are because they're writers.
Yeah. Or they write a really good script, but it's kind of like weird in a way.
Yeah.
And like nobody wants to do it.
Yeah. Fuck, it's gotta be a bitch.
Yeah.
You spend all that time writing the script.
Yeah. Oh man.
I have a friend that I grew up with, and he's doing one of those right now. He's like writing a series with a friend.
That's awesome.
And he's like trying to pitch it to HBO and shit when it's done. I'm like, I really hope that you get it, man. I hope that, you spent these couple of years doing it. I really hope it's a fucking masterpiece, dude.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I want that for you. I want that for him because it's a goddamn tragedy to work on a script and develop characters for years, and then you're pitching and people are like, can we change this lead character? We need more diversity, and we need this fucking this and that.
Yeah, it can be bad.
Yeah.
I don't know.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, I think that's pretty good for today. What do you think?
Yeah, that seems like a good.
How long was that, Seamus? I'm talking for a while?
Yeah, for a little while.
35 minutes?
A little bit longer.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, that I really enjoy these long ones.
Yeah, they're nice.
It's so much fun to like talk about nothing.
Just talk about nothing.
Yeah. It's good to have an idea as to what to talk about, but at the same time, just kind of talk about whatever.
Yeah, like in this instance, we just started with something totally random.
Yeah.
I forgot what we started with.
Bob Iger.
Yes, and then somehow that parlayed into Orlando, and then just various topics.
Yeah, but yeah, we are Lost in Phoenix.
Thank you for listening to the Lost in Phoenix podcast.
Yeah, but hopefully we'll come back with some topics. I think we will. Yeah.
Some good deep topics for intellectual pondering.
Yeah, maybe we'll go back over religion.
Yeah,
I want to talk about that again.
Do another one.
Yeah, because that's fun.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks you for listening to this episode of Lost in Phoenix podcast. We are Lost in Phoenix. I don't know, we'll be putting out some music sometime.
Yeah.
Soon. Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah. So if you want to hear about that, go ahead and subscribe to this channel because we'll be posting stuff here on YouTube about that in the future. You can't really follow us anywhere else. We don't have anything set up at the moment. So, just right here on YouTube for right now.
Yeah, right here on the YouTubes.
Subscribe, comment down below what you think we should be talking about.
Yes.
Maybe some topics.
Yeah.
Something.
Porno?
That's a topic.
It is.
That's a topic. Yeah, but thank you for listening to this episode. We will catch you next time when we talk about something else?
Nothing.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.